Only approved in matrimony.
And Reflow's Maverick. Yes, some of the sounds with the ear, they'll not be here. You go see here like, give it to me, give it to me. Watch Reflow's TV on Metro TV every Friday evening from 9 to 10 p.m. Proudly sponsored by Reflow's Sanitary Pads. Your well-being is our #1 priority because you deserve the best.
Girls run the world.
Yes?
That you also join them because your boyfriend doesn't have money.
The boy.
To won't say will be or yeah or class won't say be doing maybe no. That's in the panama bone. No matter any fearful and any fearful. Looking at
you are with a man and you know where they and call baby you are just choking them for the meantime.
I want to see ladies first, but how do you breaking rule?
Who be man who casse? Can you cry the what's that? Why too cheap?
Mr. Menanti must be me home. And so, why didn't she
Point it down like what am I doing?
Then I not giving sexual commitment. Don't expect financial commitment.
Yeah, the thing say we cheat the most, but it's really the guys.
Wow.
Mommy, I'm not dating.
I'll do it, Jai.
Oh, me, my channel.
And why are you falling in love?
When a man sees
And essentially, you be doing come afa MMRA NSƐM. Original TV asuni medin at the Twum Barimah. And then come you be doing at the afa ordinance marriage. The mood don afra and say I fro and say wedding. And you be doing come on share and you ma e komu send the city MMRA ne can say from marriage fi yedi kan hwe customary marriage yahwe Mohammedan marriage ti e be hwe ordinance ni yahwe ni means en kwase we ni awade means en wo man Ghana mu ha yedi tum eno se mra yedi tum ti e be hwe se ma means en na se na de de tos means en be hwe yedi no so hu komo ye be twe ho ba banansa ni be twe ho ba no enne the legal fraternity no I can say ya ti asem de ani ansa anti asem de. And some day young no say one senior lawyer was called to the bar somewhere in 1993. A lawyer akutu ampao. Ene. Akura efra ntuma awo ntintinimu. Amanai one katias for bio. Mobaka eno 2021 a year presidential election petition. Na wodum tintima pa ono ne gina homa e na danko kufuado. Mampani as a lawyer e the Supreme Court. What they could include Mbaka and we give you no show court or any campa. And as you can go to even 2013 presidential election petitions are or no, any senior Addison, any Nipa can be na Womudi and at the Supreme Court then in 2013. And they Accra and Katiasifum, Yama Busia or Demo Yako, Yama, Irene Ma, and the bar association ni ekuo bi a odwan ni bia na yɛ momu nyina yakɔ ɛno nton kyɛn no ɛne gisɛm so wo mu ne sɛ ɛnɛ ɛyɛ enipa bi ɔno mo sa quantity mo awie abɛya lawyer sɛ yɛn num nsi aba na yɛn fo enyom dɔɔso nipa no bro apem mu ne akyiri kakra but baako bi ne bi ayi ni mo sɛ mo tren kwa yɛbɛdi kan de afiri ɛyɛ mea menua ne madam fo pa kɔdwo a wɔyɛ producer ɛwɔ multimedia na sɛ Adom TV kɔdwo and you have been called to the bar. Congratulations and welcome to the bar. Onwachi Osman Ayarega were Deputy National Youth Organizer for the National Democratic Congress at the NDC. Osman so or deputize a lawyer Operado Pablo as a friend the deputies in Umba Abrantia come. One also nay or come my column to the bar. No. Osman, once congratulations, pa. Once welcome to the bar also. Abbas Nuruddin, we are regional communication officer for Ashanti region, NDC. Also, and then with a year out of the Lords, you have also been called to the bar. And then, also congratulations. And a year, Honorable Shelley Ayoko Boche, Madam, a Foreign Affairs Minister of Ghana, on also a name of Rambi, at Nafra. I'm also a lawyer today. And Brantier Bakoka, I friend Sami Euku, as in the CEO for the National Lotteries Authority. Also, a lawyer. Inti South Winina, Momina Kwabana, Mia Bapa, Obobia, Opokudako, formerly of Radio Gold. And I also one graduating with a master's degree from University of Professional Studies, as well as Banso Abaye, a lawyer. And Munina, Yamam, congratulations. Yentwi ahumra yeba ya the lawyer and anybody nkomo edin and atudwa ya free nkomo din ase yemra sisia
Fremra yenya ye fa hodi ebesi ene empempen so oman edu efa sikasam ho ya pomudin sem ye school sem ho ene empo ye nyere mu kane ya ensem ho no ene ne ekeka ho no sam pempen so ene sese ye du ana ye empanyimfo anase ye kandifo omudi ye nim no omudi ye nhwamo anase be sese omudi ye du no oho na omudi ye edu wenti ena original TV ede jumedi fofo kra ebrewa ye fe no the hot seats what the hot seats so no ye ni aban empanyimfo amanyofo Mrashabedwafo ene impo Ghana fo a omunimu de efa aye Ghana abakosem ho ene impuntunsem ho ebedi nkita ho afasa dwumede ho enti chiame akosia asabia asumani kwasia de bia no miensa ewo original TV na me for the hot seats embro the hot seats asamuni dika eninti yebeka
Young Mofra, Yemang Abribia make her say, so pese uhu, said your wash Mofra a woman moi. Bomodia nature when na champagne for a door among nano, and now wonga would you among the can. And no, Abamu who said dear, wash Mofra a woman. Fit 2019, a couple 2020 1 year census. Mofra population a course through. About 127,000. Anon tino na ehube hia se. Abe biara no eba mamofra nsem aye asem hia ade amoma. Yang mofra ya mang dwumedi aye dwumedi bia ya hyehye. Se ye behwe mofra education. Omo health, omo spiritual well-being. Bibi biara eba mamofra akonkan ewo abrabom. Anon ti ena abribia mese. Kame hu na yenhwe na yenkasa emfa mofra ho eniama ene atete ye de mofra efemu won kamafo ne hena ehena no reka ma won hwe ma mimisa wo oba ne ntetewe no aye dinga ma wo anka wo benya nimode wo ho a anka wo bepe eno nti ena meka se kame ho ne yesusu nsam a efa mofra ho yang mofra ye man
abusafo yɛ makɔ ababiem sɛ magyebrɛ ahwɛ yɛn ma yɛtwe ho aba sɛdeɛ medi kan de to dwa ne nkɔmmɔ a yɛbɛdie no ɛfa ɛyɛ ordinance marriage anaasɛ deɛ ɛka no twi mu ayeforo anaa wedding sɛdeɛ binom afrɛ no yɛbɛdi sɛ nkɔmmɔ yi nnɛ na yɛahwɛ deɛ mmara no ka ɛfa saa awadeɛ no so sɛ mɛka yɛde kan asua customary marriage no yɛ Ghana na sɛ deɛ mokora frɛ no engagement anaasɛ bi ɛfie awadeɛ no sa deɛ yɛde kan hwɛ deɛ mmara no ka fa ho deda ɛhwɛ Mohammedan marriage nso no ka ɛno so fa nkramofoɔ deɛ no ho yɛsua no so last week ɛnɛ yi ɛyɛ obroni deɛ no ɛyɛ the ordinance marriage no nso yɛbɛsua lawyer no ne tena se nnɛ adi nkɔmmɔ ɔno na afa yɛn bɛyɛ na ɔtwe mmiɛnsa mu nyinaa nie yɛagye ne berɛ yie paa a wɔne yɛdi sɛ nkɔmmɔ yi a bɛpem ɛnɛ yi yɛfrɛ no lawyer Umar Farouk counsel yɛma akɔ aba
yes counsel
bia bɔkɔ deɛ
nyame
good sɛ na ɔtwe bia akɔ yie deɛ
nyame ado
yɛde nyame ase yɛma akɔ aba bia mu nanso yɛde wase sɛ wagye berɛ upon all your busy schedules nyina ɔtwe nyɛ da agye ne berɛ abɛka ho ne a wɔne yɛn ɛbɛsan bɛkyɛ nimudeɛ ne nhumu wɔ ɛyɛ ordinance marriage ho na mensɛ berɛ no yɛnkɔ anim kɔsɛ na ahoma no yɛbɛbie no ntam mene kan fa nto dwa sɛ ahwɛfoɔ a mohwɛ yɛn ne mmoa mowɔ questions a mpɛ sɛ mbusa no yɛ Facebook page ne air life original TV GH wobɛtumi ɛde wo question bi a wobi afa Facebook page no so anaasɛ WhatsApp line no so to screen no so ɛno so bɛtumi de afa so ebiem exactly 4:30 wobɛtumi afrɛ yɛbɛbi ahoma no atom ne no so wafrɛ na question bi a wopɛ sɛ wobisa no so wobisa WhatsApp line yɛ 0550 090867 0550 090867 ɛno ɛna wɔwɔ screen no so no question bi a wɔ fafa so anaasɛ kɔ Facebook page no so na no so fa so yɛbɛhwɛ ne akan ne yɛagye ɛho mmoa yɛde ama wo afiri lawyer hɔ counsel ɛde yɛn ne ordinance marriage
they did kind that was it for the opportunity to be here once again.
Thank you.
And
welcome.
There also so my share your tea for any ordinance marriage. Essentially, we share Ghana just like last week, yeah, discussed here last week. We share there are 3 forms or 3 ways you can execute marriage.
Okay.
And I share first one, I share customary, and I share criminal for so.
Yeah.
Now ordinance, popularly, what the lay people term as the church marriage.
Yeah.
And essentially, is governed by the Part 3 of the Marriages Act of Ghana. Now, we share Part 3, and I friend popularly as Cap 127.
Okay.
But however, the definition of what ordinance marriage is still remains at common law. Now, we share common law in the very famous case of Hyde and Hyde.
Yeah.
2 parties now we are involved. That's the man and the woman, the man and the Obama. They must enter into it voluntarily.
So one
exactly.
And then they will be in
exactly. And the second one is for life. What for life? What does it mean? Essentially, what it means is that the 2 parties now they cannot just sit down and then dissolve the marriage. It has to be done by means of the courts. There's a court that has to exactly. So for life, it means it can either be terminated by means of death of either of the parties or both parties, and also by means of the court. So when you go to court and the court will take them through the legal process, and at the end of the day, they make a determination to dissolve the marriage. First of all, the first quality is it has to be voluntary. Second one is for life, and the third one is to the exclusion of others. To the exclusion of others means inherently, monogamous. It is essentially between Barimah and Obano, and neither of them can go ahead and marry somebody else in addition to what they have between them. Strictly and inherently monogamous.
Very well. You kind of we not as change and say, "Sawa we are can once a week." Say, anypa mienu efi omo pem ebekebo mo ba ene bema tenie what was stress on that was a man and a woman. Ebom ebekabo mu was akwan no so a. Ose ba akuntimi mfie kire enko wane foforo emeka. Ze we die ugina ha na so wane we gina mpi ko bia bi.
Exactly. And so say last week and in the subsequent the previous discussions now we had on it on this subject matter, which is marriage generally. We indicated say our legal in a contract.
Yes.
But our the type of contract it is a unique special contract in the sense that a ordinance marriage, the type of contract it is, it has to strictly go in accordance with Ghana MMRA and the specific MMRA you referred to in this particular discussion. The ordinance law, specifically Cap 127, which is the third part of the Marriages Act. Once you go through an ordinance marriage and it does not strictly comply with Cap 127, you cannot term it as ordinance aware. So you can say ordinance aware a special contract because it has to be done or executed in accordance with Cap 127. It also has to be done.
Cap 127
exactly. And there's also means ordinance aware. If you look generally, contract an 18-year can execute a contract by himself. But ordinance aware, an 18-year-old cannot enter into an ordinance aware without the consent of the parents, the mom and the papa, and also a guardian. And the guardian could be the justice of the High Court.
Okay. So that's the difference. And so,
from 18 to 21, you need the consent of your parents.
Okay. What if you do what you copy from share do no back? So, person or our demon so worry ya fra. I was set and none a jet and I said and none a jet nearby and my consent. On one dream, one son, what you are.
Exactly.
And now say, yes, and none a Johnson Tiasia will be your friend so as you term a guardian. We say a justice or a justice of the court.
Exactly.
The movie between my consent and son as independent hour.
Exactly. Exactly. So from above 21, you don't need a consent. But 18 to 21, you need a consent of the parent. Someone then in Latin, because a local parentis. That's a guardian. Exactly.
I see. Yeah. I see. Now, what are the requirements? To say if I say you want to say Nipano and my okay voluntarily no woman if one person worry. Be woman in the only kind of consent be guaranteed as an now person common. Now they want to go into ordinance. And only our and then probably bring no appeal. Don't do one number. First question is a DNA and say also first one son as our letting. What is the procedure?
Okay, so before I ever procedure, no, so boy, the requirements. The requirements they are divided into two.
Okay.
There was substantive requirement and a procedural requirement.
All right.
In the substantive requirement, no, I think so we've touched on one of them, which is consent. No?
Okay.
And the other one is it is very important because ordinance marriage inherently monogamous. No? So you have to make sure say. At any point in time, no, you have not entered into any other marriage. Once you have entered into any other marriage, whether customarily or some other means, or another criminal forward, you cannot execute ordinance marriage. The second one also is it must not be prohibited. The ordinance marriage between a Oban and Barimah must not be prohibited on the grounds of consanguinity. Say,
okay.
They must not be related by blood, by moja. So related by moja, then it will be prohibited under the law. Exactly.
By blood, no, and only full blood and also half blood, and I need more. Mubia, Tintin, you must say, Obi only free papa, but move free mammy. Okay. Once you are blood related, no, sour your monk.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, then, with this, comparatively, with the customary marriage, in our kind of settings, what do you offer? And I said, with ordinance, they okay, yeah. Okay.
And then there are also our area, no, the proposed ordinance, our area between Barimah and Oban should also not be prohibited on the grounds of affinity. Affinity is if you are already, this is a Barimah is already is married to maybe Oba, and then he's seeking to marry another lady, but this other lady perhaps the sister of your friend is the existing wife, no. So it's prohibited and affinity. Exactly.
All right. Okay.
So
I see.
And there's a distinction between the two. No? One is consanguinity, which is moja, and the other one is strictly by affinity. Rebecca said maybe by marriage, affiliation of marriage. You cannot. Exactly. And those essentially are the substantive requirement of ordinance marriage.
Very well.
However, there are procedural one also, and the procedural one, so ordinance our area. You cannot just wake up and go and do it. A bit more a day. I mean, they go to the gardens and then they do something. Exactly. That will not qualify as ordinance marriage because there's a law that has laid down a procedure.
Okay.
And once you don't subject whatever you are doing, the purported marriage through that procedure, then whatever you have done is void under the law.
Okay.
You see, the first one is if you want to do it, you have to do it through 3 options. The first one, either obey through the registrar's certificate, and also obey through the marriage officer's certificate, and also obey under a special license issued by a principal registrar of marriages. If you don't do it through any of these options, then fundamentally, whatever you've gone through cannot qualify as an ordinance marriage under the MMRA.
For the okay, my person when you tell was say our dear no ye ware I fro and say wedding na ye a kwan me nsaso na mra no abato wo say yemfa so mbaako me nsa na wo say ye wo then registrar's marriage, right?
Registrar's certificate.
Registrar's certificate, thank you. And now you
marriage officer certificate.
Marriage officer certificate.
Principal registrar special license.
Principal registrar special license. Inti one after the other. For last one, the principal registrar special license and everything.
Okay, because my main fan from the first one, because the last one pretty much takes its explanation from the first two.
Yeah, okay.
Into the first one, which is the registrar's certificate. And the Barimah and Obano essentially have to come together and then make an application to the registrar. The registrar in the district of person who execute marriage.
Assembly.
Exactly.
Marriage registrar.
Exactly. Yes. But you cannot just do. You can't do it verbally.
Okay.
You can't verbalize it. You have to make it by documentation.
There's option
into Betro.
Okay.
And the law terms it as a notice.
Okay.
Someone submitted that document to the registrar of marriage in that particular district. Then essentially what he does is enter into what they call the marriage notice book. Until once he enters it into the marriage notice book, he's duty bound under the law to then place a copy of the notice on the outside of either on the door of the office and outside notice board be outside of the office or paste that particular document which is the notice. Once he pastes it on the back of his door or on the notice board outside of his office then within a space of 3 months a certificate should have been issued to the parties. And once a certificate is issued to the parties, they are also supposed to, within that same window, 3 months, to have solemnized the marriage. Once they don't do that, then they have to start the process all over again.
Okay.
What I say.
Okay.
So, but the certificate will be issued under certain conditions.
Okay.
And that will come by means of an affidavit or more application. So once or share affidavit and then he's satisfied that they've met the substantive requirement, So if those substantive requirements are met, in addition to either of them having lived in that district for a minimum of 15 days before the celebration of the marriage, then once all of these requirements fundamentally are satisfied, then he proceeds and issues the certificate. Once he issues the certificate, then they have a window or a time period of 3 months to celebrate the marriage. Once they fail to do that, they have to start the process, go back and then make an application which will qualify as a notice, and the notice has to be placed on the notice board for 3 months again. I mean, it starts de novo.
Sir, it's not just a notice in the idea before somebody has a way of wedding. When be also called register, a man descend notice in the but notice in that and one hour, yes, we were question be a win person and Babaso, which me a becana within that period, there's anything becana. And that's no.
Yes, within that period. So, and I find a caveat. No?
Okay.
So, caveat no can be entered. Yes, once a notice within that 3 months period, a caveat can be entered. And the caveat, I say, you've explained it already. I mean, will be a third party, and I say a bystander somewhere, then makes an objection. Caveat, there's simple meaning in layman's language, objection. Essentially saying, say, you have a reason why the two of them should not exactly. They shouldn't be unionized. Exactly. So once you enter the caveat, then under the circumstance, the registrar, the marriage registrar is duty bound under the law to inform or to notify the Justice of the High Court. Say, these two persons are seeking to unionize under the Ordinance law. However, no, the process has been subjected to a caveat. Somebody has entered the caveat, and the Justice of the High Court will look at the caveat on the face value. So if on the face value, no, he feels that prima facie there's no case to answer, he will dismiss the caveat, and the caveator is not given a hearing. However, if on the face of it, he feels that there's a case to answer, then he will call in the purported parties to the marriage, and also the caveator, another the caveatrix, to come in and then show cause why he feels that the two of them should not be unionized under the marriage ordinance.
I see.
Yeah.
All right. Memoir to chance to crab in just about a minute. Nearby. Na maybe a phone lines not to nothing. So you have other questions. I say, and not it was in
Penisi, enye danta ne danta, nemum danta ne disikabano. We ye jumaku ankrankra anasa bain aya sabia ensori jumedi bia wudie na pesa mansa te ukano enye bebia na oto wajatonde a amansan ebetie yeto nsafro sefa ntuma bebo ye dia no original TV and original FM ye yabo kwaku afa yonko akotokoro enkasroda bra ne beso ye hwe na behu se ye jana no ye nam yeto nsafro sebrei na ye nto wajatonde ma enhita maga na mpana nyina ehu dwumadi a wudie wo hwe akira kwan a ye wo North Ridge ye Benalisa Hotel ubetimi afre ahoman so 0302 986130 Original TV, Original FM. So can you first see a good also? Nan shrey mama sanyina ehu.
Fremra yenya ye fa hodi ebesi ene. Empempen so oman edu efa sikasam ho. Ya pomudin nsɛm, ye school nsɛm ho. Ene empo ye yire mu kane ensɛm ho no. Ene ne ekeka ho no. Sam pempen so ene sese ye du ana. Ye empanyimfo anase ye kandifo omudi ye nim no. Omudi ye nhwamo. Anase be bia sese omudi ye du no oho na omudi ye edu. Wenti ena Original TV ede jubedi fofo kra ebrewa ye fe no the hot seats. What the hot seats so no ye ni aban empanyimfo amanyofo mrahye bedwafo ene impo Ghana fo a omuni mu de ɛfa ɛyɛ Ghana abakɔsɛm ho ɛne impuntunsɛm ho ɛbɛdi nkita ho afa saa dwumadie ho enti hyia me akosia asabia asomanim kwasia da bia no miensa ɛwɔ Original TV na me for the hot seat embro the hot seat asɛm no di ka ɛne nti yɛbɛka
Obisafo makwa basma agebre atwen yen me yetwe ho ba yedi nkomo a yedi no fa aware a eye ene namafo die na so broni die ye friend say ordinance marriage na say ayfro wedding edi bi adoma ne bi no ho nkomo na ye die ye ho supply ne bi atom 0550 090867 0550 090867 your phone lines no so yedi nkomo ye bi no so atom fa and so ba screen no so fa na so afre na o question bi a opose obusa fa aware eho say especially with this one I yedi hu nkomo yi eye ma e course bebre na obusa na wage nkyeremu papa se fata na bi wutu na mo so hono mo se wutu yakuya nim no council lawyer ni di nkomo e fa no eye lawyer Farouk Umar one wage bre na ye woni atenase ni yedi nkomo council my next question to you is if it be can be and as a lawyer for muta can be say consummation in marriage but focus on ya can but as you understand, a dear here was say our day I can once
well, let me dance for the opportunity once again. A consummation under the law. No, what it means is say Barimah the proposed Barimah a Obama or some share.
Also, Mudishim.
Share.
After Wariano.
After Warren,
almost shame. The woman is a mistake of Biabana. Jose,
exactly, it affects the marriage. I say almost share, so it's not a case I will say once. No, okay, it has to be continuous.
As a woman, the better see. And when you say once and no more. Exactly. All right, it's a call. Good afternoon, but you didn't your favorite. I'm saying how many so what must have February line here is 0550 090702 0550 but your only phone line between my friend what's up line is in the whole screen so and now what you know the question of a Facebook page in this one yet me I can them
until lack of consummation the can
what much so mommy call good afternoon but you didn't your favorite hello good afternoon.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
You got your mom on the board in the yeah,
do my two program na chassis. See, and I'm ready to what I say more can what yourself. Hello.
But you're
good.
But you didn't know you are free.
Okay. Me de kojo me frefi odningo.
All right. But you're
good. Na me bisa. What you say?
But I think I'm with you.
Good. My question is so be worry I caught our be. Now within less than 3 months of the marriage. No ban ni Barimah fufura kwakoda na wache no na yemfa ne say ordinance no form so ache no na aside ordinance form so che no 4 months again wasanso ni Barimah fufura akoyede na akoda ema na Barimah new kunu no ache na eno no se ba ne say onku jaya ware na court ebe grant ana say ungranted.
Very well. Yeah, that's it. Of course, no, very loud and clear. You have more answer. Now, if you didn't actually in any other answer, council, but you're not one of we are not out in the answer.
Okay, until now, you have consummation. And I say, or say consummation. I say, the law, MMRA requires them to Barimah to consummate. I mean, say, almost share. And once that particular requirement is not met, then it renders the marriage voidable.
Okay. And I say, and now one more on better day, I idea when power was what they will say. Around your question, but it's out here. Obano worry, any man worry. Bosumi and Mobana for Nipochi and Ubiakoda, which is more or less adultery. What did kind of chair? And Obana 4 months after said the first one of the chair was Sanko Ibim. Now, because a court with my buano, and I said, you know, so based on this act.
The court no bit me aye.
Okay.
And it's good say or not as I say. When it comes to dissolution of our arena, it's only the court that can make that determination. In the court bit me aye, but the problem they say, the law says that for the dissolution of ordinance our arena, it has to the party seeking the dissolution, or if you like the petitioner, can only petition after 2 years of the marriage. After 2 years of the solemnization of the marriage.
Okay. You see now in 1 year,
exactly. Even though say technically, what the problem he's enlisted qualifies under the law as a ground, because the dissolution of ordinance marriage, there's only one or so grounds, which is that our it has broken down beyond reconciliation.
All right.
Exactly. But that particular sole ground can be proven in so many ways. One of them is adultery. Into an only situation that comes under adultery. However, the very challenge he might encounter under the law is a very requirement. Say ordinance marriage can only be dissolved after 2 years of the celebration of the marriage. Even though there are exceptions under the law, but technically the exceptions that are given, it looks like we are not seized with the complete facts of the matter. But based on what he's narrated to us.
Hello?
Hello, good afternoon. But what do you know everything?
But you media, my free question.
But you know,
my question is, you proceed at the end of court.
Yeah.
It may be posted be so fear any man.
Okay. Notice now, okay, me but I said notice now, we say. Very well. And see, no question is it's not that, I mean, it's clear. Whether or not say notice now as registration and be pasted on the court. So can it also be posted? I say pasted at our I mean, around your house or something, and I say be a
So in the case where she's going under the registrar certificate, it's a bare notice. The notice can only be posted on the front or at the back of the door of the office of the registrar, and I say a notice board outside the registrar's office. Say, and the marriage officer certificate as publication of bonds, and the publication of bonds can only be done in a church that has been licensed or recognized by a friend, by the law.
Okay.
So the publication of bonds can only be done in the church.
All right. Hello, good afternoon. But would you know we are very?
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Afternoon.
But you didn't know we are very.
I am very Prince Lamekasa Castle.
Prince Lamekasa.
I like me then yawa you. As I am production, but never now. Never money will you. But okay.
Ethiopia.
Never mana will you. And I talk with you in them. Into person may give me back. But I'm missing food and I'm into no fuck on the M mammy. Into then I'm missing I found.
All right, yes. Now, if you didn't actually the idea when you was on whom way. But you're not one of the vision. Nice away. My first one, I mean, the one before this one, the registrar's one, no, and notice an intimate couldn't fee. But the other one,
publication of bonds, under the marriage officer certificate.
Marriage officer certificate.
And no can only be done in the church.
Okay, now, obviously, you copy a copy, sorry. That's sorry on Baba wedding.
Exactly.
Which you notice no copy a copy.
Exactly. Right. And no, 3 times. So
okay.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
So every Sunday, be
okay. Okay.
3 weeks. Yeah.
Okay. And they are now, and so I'm be a time so and I'm about before the marriage. You see, I know, so said, and the person was yes, my son,
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Very well. So this very one, only be manage to don't worry. But omoba, maintain me once yaba, oba na twene ho. But so opposite kwagye ne ba, is a kwara no so ne nzenka no. Ti den with my.
Issue of custody.
Okay.
You go to the court.
Nti asoko court na okopusu. Amra no na hebe bia. In fact, the mistake next keep na kwara no age. I know some part no. Akwara no fie ndu won where na the parental responsibility edika dem man no kwara before the men.
Exactly.
Yeah, all right. So Kola, unfortunately, a dear nya wo akwala ne emfia wadi, but ninyi na mo say waka no approach the court and the court can assist you on that matter. Kola, good afternoon, but you didn't need to be free. Hello. Hello. Mr. Musamu from Madam Maya, Mamu tie mu ho e wo TV no so. Why? E ba na sa won te de me make no na say me me de no be delay on the phone. It's more than a lower TV so that you can hear me well. Good afternoon, your name and where you're calling from.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon.
But you didn't know we are free.
We are from Eric. We are free. Accra.
Mr. Eric, my creative.
A patrol cancer. My worry about 10 years.
10 years.
10 years. No bad. Baas maswa de makotrim na wet mo ba ni ene so no ba ni hu approve do wana
but o manti was it then here
I say maswa de makotrim na wo bi rechi ma
be ma na akotrim plan e wo ni rechi so Matthew now your question
I say me here na me na tra 10 years no I say ma nti ano so problem bi wo ho ana problem bi sa
very well. Wawari 10 years. Wafana yirechi. Is there a problem? Oban be me akase ojaware and I would think akase ojaware.
I say I know ya no already.
Okay.
I know classical adultery.
Okay.
And adultery is a way of proving say marriage now has gone beyond reconciliation.
Okay.
And once the Oban is able to establish that in court now, the court won't hesitate, they'll dissolve the marriage.
Very well. Once wawari na buru mfijemi no na won feel you said wa okay no. Ade oyire epia epusu court na so pia obo pia court na okoka o pese ojai na wade na owo mu no lawyer say emra na makwan na court nto beti na semoma. Call good afternoon but you dey know be afrefe.
Good afternoon. From me just me Fefi Awodomi estate.
Yes madam, but you tell.
Me pacho mawari 3 years ni by me ye ni nyina wo fie me ye engagement me ye na me sa share second ring go fie by me ni any certificate bi ant na me bi sa kwan be na me fa so amenye bi.
All right, so when I say awade ni mu bi enu a wonye customary marriage registration na wonye ordinance and so me boa.
Me pacho dey bi.
Okay, timacho ye Edian lawyer be you anti anoti me das. Council, but just into the animal.
From what she said, no.
Yeah.
Under MMRA, technically, no, that's not ordinance marriage. That's
more or less
that's customary marriage, more or less customary marriage.
Yeah.
Until person convert it to ordinance, all she needs to do is to go through processes. So go under the ordinance law, and under the ordinance law, you either go under the registered certificate or you go under the marriage officer certificate and special licenses. So any of them you could activate it. Yeah.
Okay. Now, can the normal customary one also be registered?
Yes.
And so in TBS one query ordinance and also register customary one so with my
register. But I know it does not prove a validity or otherwise on the marriage.
Okay. No. All right. So Madam Josephine, but your question anu yere no say Bopia court and say registers no bia waka no na hwese wa wade no botuma register no come now they afford dancing. Call good afternoon but you didn't know your friend. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Yeah, and for your me also be my son.
Low TV kakra na say menya feedback no wa.
Na afternoon for your me my son baby. Na me pocho na lawyer.
We can hardly hear you. Hello. All right. The council also. You say what is bigamy? You can say bigamy. Or ordinance marriage more. Any idea?
Say yedi kan ordinance aware inherently is monogamous. Monogamous I say say be money intimi worry beyond a obana worry dadama.
Okay.
Inherently monogamous. At any point in time, no, say or worry about a can't existing one. Technically, in our laws, Person to Act 29, the Criminal Offences Act, no, it strictly comes under what we call bigamy, and it's a criminal. Yes.
All right. International say Barimah intim waro baako from kan yere mo bra for ordinance marriage.
Exactly.
Call good afternoon, but you didn't know free.
Hello.
Hi, good afternoon.
Afternoon. Yeah, I'm myself radio. Let me just say, them are not 5 years. And our banner after local 3.
Oh, a young kwala no me boy.
Yo.
Nti said you kan no wa o kasa do pay ye na se enye yi a eno nti na mra no ho. Ti bomodia na epini court na nya lawyer bi no ni anim ma na ye court nkyere mo mienu no. Some worry is not the problem, but as to which of you can keep the children, I remember can say custody. Why in a court and me once I would I think I'll show myself. But I know some chances a court and they might be a war. Beman to me, a be uncle, and to me come punching at some point in time. What in the answer? What I don't Council, but now one reason. So that in simple terms, that is the essence of bigamy. There's bigamy there. A chick or ban also. And I
say under the MMRA, ban already is. I think say a couple of weeks ago you discussed say we have polygamy. You won't mean first one year a polygyny and the back one year polyandry. Polygyny is accepted under our laws, but polyandry, which is a case of ban be more than one man, and no, it's criminal under our laws. It's not accepted.
1 second. Good afternoon, Pacho. Did anybody have referee?
Yeah, good afternoon, Pacho. Me can't say.
Okay. The Pacho ya inti who TV is what I remember for yankasa. Okay.
Yeah, no lawyer can say a year or so ends me impossible. But you worry December 12, 2020.
12 December 2020.
17 February 2021 and okoye saadi na medichain. So from yes, you were 20 December 12, 2020 and on 17th of February 2021 and I'm the first one there. 4 months later and another one sounds to see. So see I mean no kasi. First one is the ebusia ni sofo pa me chose ma me mbo ebusia ma me peneso and my medichain. Second one no ono ne ebusia no nye lady so betina ase me aka asem no. And then 3rd October 2023 and obe park ni nyama edifi me ha kwa no set trap we ja nyama bi ehun hia. In nature as me the command and me na mapa me no. But here by the case to see only the second person you know aware no eba abim me no mo ka say eba abim uhu akwara na enye obi na be kire ne papa unye hu akwara na so wunni ye mienu na enye obi na be kire ne papa so in this case
hold on a second so the welcome to see here not just Emprana watching what you were timid Emprana awo.
Yes.
Beside one
yes.
Okay. But officially we won't go our court.
Yes.
But more than the year 2020 December. All right. I think your question is now clear. Don't worry, I'm just saying with this with this information there we can give you an advice. But so with this information was on the brain, we can now give you an advice on it.
Okay. Okay. Right.
All right. But that's how it's in the question. Yeah. And to say no, then
say we can say the flow of events has resulted in Urbano committing technically what we call adultery.
Yeah.
The problem that initially we had was
time
a
frame.
time frame. However, no, I indicated clearly say I'm worried in 2020.
Yeah.
So we are in 2023.
Yeah.
So obviously he
3
meets
years.
the legal requirement of 2 years.
Okay.
Because it's 3 years. So he can petition the court.
Okay.
What I would advise is one per lawyer.
Okay.
Per lawyer, not lawyer, not a filing petition man.
Okay.
For dissolution of the marriage.
Okay.
Exactly.
So that's it. Nti yenua offer ye a waka wasem to see but your lawyer ayi wasa no tiawa say mbehia so bebo pin lawyer bi na lawyer na di wanim afale petition ma e court na wodi awade na abawiye sabre ya were no afoachi akware na so akofo wanko ware mpa wafoachi akwo nchen na de enough grounds for you to go off the marriage. Counsel yaku anim no marriage certificate no and if for and sign marriage certificate no.
So
all right. Good afternoon, but you didn't anybody have referee.
Me didn't Kwame.
I'm but of referee.
Because I feel.
I'm but what are much utimia, Bomadian and low TV and I said mute no. Why not a team in come from
Okay. Let me see. But you say a cousin kaka free a fire a brother no.
All right, in TTO, what are
let me say, my sister, me auntie back when they buy a real business beam. But when I miss meeting my career business man.
Okay. All right, Marty. The same family name happens also to our family name.
Roger.
The same family name.
Baby, my sister, we are a bushana more my sister. No, I'm now commission campaign.
All right, Marty. Any other way you know.
Okay.
The question here very simple. This sister Aware. Now let's assume to be an Aware family. So in that whether extended family or whatever, no, can he also go into that same family and get married?
Prohibition by marriage and sulking. Strictly under the law, I don't see what really will stop him from going ahead to do that. Yeah.
That's once you need your blood,
unless say by blood, and I say Ibia, nka ne sister ne kudu na Ibia on. I think say technically he can go ahead.
Okay, so technically, Branty Alfred Kwame, but that lawyer say, "Oh dear, no dear, emudaho." Sabi enye we nua na akware no ananye moja na se bia wunua mi na aware no na we wunua bia busua wakomu na abuso komu de emra na nche na nsi ho kwanto betuma ko. The next call ambacha wudi ni bo ya free.
Hello.
Hi, good afternoon, madam. Bacha wudi ni bo ya free.
Your friend me Asantua me ka Sophie Accra.
All right, Asantua ambacha etia.
Bacho na me bisa say ewo Ghana mremu ema kwan say Accra enye wona wawo no betimi de wudin aye beset o de wudin ahye so say papa
but Accra na te hwan chen
Accra no okay me kunu makunu se me kunu e de ni din aye beset ama obi
okunu se ukunu din e de ni din aye beset ama obi.
Ai.
But akwala na ete won chen na se what you
akwala na ente me nchen.
Na akwala ne hwan ba.
Me ba baby a beset ni ko pie no. Nipa na na minim no. E na obo mama ni.
So, but hold on. Akwala na ye hwan ba.
Akwala na ye minya hu no kure wo mu say. Akwala na ye mi kunu ne ba.
Very good. So that is the starting point. Wadaroma. Ahwani baby odi also di kan hwefiri. Because it's not just by naming somebody saying the cotton day so. Yana say yet here nyina me didn't dream about no obi na de meto no. Ti bia na e mato. But obi din ba certificate say ne ba no no na say ne papa ne dia. And you say we further and better checks. Na utumi hu ni ansan.
Ba na me pese me hu say. Ghana mrama kwan say nya na wawo abofra na obetimi de udin ahye sese papa ama no.
Anything na me push it but say yetimi adopt akwala. To say as well adopting one different. So that's it. In this one adoption, no be there na ebia na ne ba no mo na wonimu.
Okay.
Good. This an ba no na wonimu a the why no want to mra bia. So ne dia I mean the din birth certificate is no enti amra. But sanya ne ba no dia ana say ordinary akwa ne papa. Then first of all we need to know akwa ne papa no wan. ana ne maame se no at least once you get to know ne maame ankasa no e dey ne maame no bezumi a kire abo am yehu ne kwala ne papa and then we find out how papa na amamu ne mum ukunu na ba mu as father.
Let me show you.
So what does it?
Medasi.
Whatever, Miss Medasi. The council back into us. So yeah, let me be about marriage certificate, you know. When I mean, the for signatures, that's a bus, and that's why they big me assign.
Okay, so technically under your laws, no, if you pick registered certificate, for instance, if you go under the registered certificate, then obviously, obviously registrar, no, any obana bema, no, and then of course witnesses.
Okay, but the witness, I was somewhere saying
minimum 2.
Back, but obana back.
Okay. Something like that. Then under marriage officer certificate, that one, obviously, licensed priest. No?
Okay, so for no, what do I want before so to Asukran? Licensed, what is you I was say licensed priest. Not to say, I was a soft no. Obejina asori ni muse o shira wale no so no we obi a emrama no kwan na say alliance no so oja wale no.
Yeah, recognize, yeah.
Oh, okay. Na baby a yaja wale no so no.
O say and also your licenses recognize.
Ti nya son dem bia mu ana betuma wale.
Absolutely.
Ti mo say ason dan ya license na say as we are saying no e recognize in the law.
Absolutely.
Okay. And so na hope na betuma wale.
Exactly.
So now what is the distinction between registered license and the other one ya can was say? Registered marriage and
marriage officer.
Yeah, officers then.
So, I'm American. We share under the procedure under the registered certificate is markedly different from the procedure under the marriage officer certificate. And under the marriage officer certificate, I don't know purely in the church one, no. And under that particular one, I don't know MMRA insists that there should be publication of bans on 3 consecutive weekends. But OSHA registered certificate, I know it's pretty much straightforward. The registrar does everything. The only thing that has to happen is the initiation process now, which has to be initiated by either of the parties by means of a notice. That is an application.
Okay.
Once the application is submitted to registrar now or the notice now or no enter into the marriage notice board. Now they copy a paste or a notice board outside of the office. Then goes ahead. Within 3 months, issues a certificate, and within 3 months, the marriage should be solemnized. But OSHA and the marriage officer certificate, I know there should be publication of bans, and publication of bans is only peculiar and related to marriage officer certificate. Under the special lines, it's not required. Under the registered certificate, it's not required.
Okay. So a year registered marriage, and I said, no, sorry them.
Absolutely.
And a court one as if you have been
on office now.
And as if you're on office. Exactly. But the under bans and your court I saw them.
Exactly.
The last question now yeah sorry no. A bread buying na obi bet my use a dean said may race made the message stream Barimah. And as I say, what time can that name be used? May want to know with my message stream Barimah. And that's something must be done before that.
Also adapt to a name by means of gazette and going through the legal process.
Okay.
One your husband's name will not automatically jump to become part of your name.
Okay.
It has to be done through the legal where you go and get a gazette and stuff like that.
Okay. Until I say, oh, I really now per se. Ufa ukudi to udi so. Now by a message entry, message or say message upon whatever. Or say I was set up for the process by getting your name gazetted, published or gazetted. And sign what you have by a message upon message or say message entry, whatever I will edin et. And not just a worry and one now I started from home message so maybe no I started trying to say no but I would need evidence to support it now lawyer actually and what she was here and I'm for be afa our home and I said I fro questions about me so aboa a bibi no bebre ne so se na e request bi anka bebusa obi abusa ama ne wanya ho enchiremu na sa ho ntiase ya ne say na a kire say ya hunu what goes on when it comes to ordinance marriage and what our laws and I say mra e Ghana ha e kan defa and ne lawyer woni be di djuma your friend lawyer Farouk Umar said when you be na otwemi ensem ni oni afamu customary marriage Mohammedan marriage and then they when you have ordinance marriage. na wo tse na yebesa adi nkunya atrase asa adi nkumo fofo na eno so ya pene so humu ani hunim de ani hunyansa ewie ne say ne dey aseda be ma the production team MCR4 the producer Ora Samuel Hunto executive producer Mr. Sam Kwadadi Renchi and mo amode brehwa yen mo amodom questions ba ye mo amofra ye mo nyina so ye da sadaka se be mam ye di mbesia medi ade twum Barimah na utse ne ye besan ahia ye MMRA NSɛM dumadi so na me so yi
Empenize, sabudin impenin fieswa. Ya koko. Equafo TV and one original TV.
Young Mufra